Okay, so the track Gidi Love was inspired by a couple of things. First of all, there's a movie called Gidi Blues. And the producer and director of the movie, Mr. Femi Odubemi, gave me a shout and said, hey, we want you to do a song that's inspired by this film for the soundtrack. So I watched the film, and the film was about a guy who was under a lot of pressure to get married. And I said, hey, this guy is kind of like me, because every time I go onto social media, somebody's hollering at me that when am I going to get married? So I wanted to do a song that kind of addressed that pressure, or all those questions and criticism of people who maybe just haven't found the person to settle down with yet. So that's kind of what inspired the track. But when I was writing and recording the song, I kind of got inspired to do a video where I go on trial for not settling down. I go on trial for not being married yet, because that's kind of what the song is saying. And just kind of taking a comedic look at the whole thing, and just kind of making fun of the whole process of how people are so concerned with when somebody will marry. I mean, you don't go to a place and ask old people when is going to be their funeral. So I don't see why you should ask, put young people under so much pressure. So that's kind of what inspired the song. And then for the video, I knew I wanted to do some sort of persecution and some sort of putting myself on trial, but I kind of wanted to take it to the next level of just making fun of the whole criticism process by being the person that is putting myself on trial. And so I play the lawyer and I play the prisoner, and then Mastercraft plays the judge, and we had a good time shooting the video, so hopefully people like it. As far as the recording session for Gidi Love goes, first of all, it was produced by a guy called TK, who's like an EME in-house producer / engineer that we're grooming in-house, and he's really, really, really dope. Actually, he produced my song with Chidima, All I Want Is You. So he produced that as well, as if people need a frame of reference. So he's really, really talented. And so I got together with TK and started putting the song together. And then after recording all of my lead vocals, I just decided that the song needed something else, and just something to kind of take it to a different level, because I've always enjoyed making music that, while it's very well accepted, it's very different from what a lot of people are hearing and what a lot of other artists are doing. So I've always tried to strive for that. So when I finished recording the song, I just figured it needed something else. So I decided it needed a choir. But it was late at night and we were in the studio, and it was just myself, the producer / engineer TK, and my assistant Yemisi, who were around. So we kind of did a ghetto recording of a choir. So the three of us sang soprano, tenor, and alto like a million times. So we just stacked the vocals. So the choir that you hear on Gidi Love is actually just 3 people, but we just sang the part so many times that it sounds like a room full of people singing. And that's how we did that. So Mastercraft actually didn't produce Gidi Love, although he's produced a lot of songs for me. We were actually in New York working on the recording of my album Songs About You, and then I had the shoot scheduled, so I pulled him to give me a cameo, but it was actually produced by TK. Okay, so as far as collaborations, in terms of this album, there are a few collaborations that are in the works, but I tend to shy away from naming people before it actually happens. But there are 1 or 2 collaborations that we're working on, let's say internationally, that I'm excited about. So we'll see if those come to fruition. But then of course I have Shady and Neola, obviously my in-house people on the record. Baby, I was made for you. I was made for you. I was created. It's a great film. The casting is done really, really well. It's a funny story. It's a romantic comedy. And yeah, it was a hell of an experience. And luckily for us, we actually were accepted, even though the film is not out yet. We were accepted to do a screening of the film on the opening night of the Toronto Film Festival, which is a really, really big deal, because Toronto Film Festival is one of the major festivals around the world. So we did a screening in Toronto. It was great. The reviews from the film have been good, even though they weren't even actually done with the final edit of the film. They just did an edit for the screening, and the reviews have come in real solid. People seem to really, really enjoy it and to have a good time. So we're really excited about putting that out. It will be out end of November. I don't remember the exact date. End of November or early December. And yeah, make sure you guys go and see it. Now, on to your second question. Yes, Adesua Etomi she plays my bride in the film. And she's also the leading lady in the Made For You video, which we released earlier this year. At the time, I just kind of talked her into doing the Made For You video because I felt like I needed like a real actor, like a girl who could really act and really kind of sell the role. And I'd seen some of the work that she'd done. You know, she won the AMVCAs last year for Falling, which I saw, which was really a really dope performance from her. And then I saw another film that she'd done called Brave. So I already knew that, you know, she could kill the role. So talked her into it. Luckily, she and her management agreed. And she did very good with Made For You. So in terms of the sound of the Songs About You album, it's while I've always been known as a predominantly R&B artist, I've kind of tweaked my sound over the years. So everything from the strong ting, yes, no side of things to the jazzy Lagos party side of things. So I've always kind of been all over the place, which I would say is probably still true for this. So it is predominantly an R&B album, but of course the sound is everything from R&B to hip hop to pop, to rock, to live band. There's a track that's very live, or two tracks that are actually very live band sounding. So the sound is kind of all over the place, but I think probably R&B is the glue that holds it all together. But of course, you'll hear me rapping a little bit. You'll hear me doing some reggae. I mean, if you've heard the Mirido song with Stonebwoy and Shady, you'll see that we dabble into dancehall and reggae a bit as well. So we're kind of all over the place sonically. But R&B is probably the glue that brings all of these different genres together. My favorite car brand is either a Range Rover or a Benz. Oh man, if I wasn't doing music, I'd have been doing a lot of things. I definitely would still be a businessman that has, you know, interests in different areas. I could have stuck with engineering because that's what I studied in school. I could have been working for an engineering company. I could have been an artist because I always like to draw. I could have been and still am a filmmaker because I like to direct and write for film and for commercials and videos. I could have been a teacher because I like actually public speaking, and that's why I give speeches and things of that nature. So I'd probably have been doing a lot of the things that I'm still doing now, except just, you know, if there was no music, I'd just be doing more of the other stuff. Okay people, it's your main man Banky W right here, live on Right on Track. And I just want to tell you guys, first of all, shout out to all the viewers of Soundcity and to all the fans worldwide, and especially in Nigeria. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't say thank you enough. I wouldn't be here without you. Thank you for the love and the support. And speaking of love and support, I hope you really love this new video that I'm about to show you right now. It's for a song called Gidi Love, and it's dedicated to all the single people around the world who people are trying to pressure you to say, when will you marry? It's not their business. Thank you very much. As you watch, I hope you love the video, Gidi Love, starring Banky W, the prosecutor, Banky W, the prisoner, written and directed and co-produced by Banky W, because I just like to kill myself with work. It's all good. Check it out, Gidi Love, brand new video. Boy Banky W, he and me all day.
This court is now in session. This is the case of the Federal Republic of Nigeria versus Banky W. All rise for the Honorable Judge Mastercraft. Please be seated.